to trying to be the very best deliverers of youth sport in our country. Now, used to be when I grew up, when you said, hey, hockey in California, this is what everyone thought, out in Minnesota or wherever else, right? But geography is no longer a predetermining factor in who can be good in our sport. So this is really cool because that's not hockey in California anymore. This is. These are all Californians, and there's a whole bunch more that I couldn't fit on the page that play at the highest level. And a ton that play college hockey at all levels, whether that's club, whether that's Division I. I mean, a year ago, there were 26 Californians just on the 16 teams that made the NCAA tournament. That's over a team itself, right? That's not counting the other 40 Division I schools that have a whole bunch of Californians too. That number gets bigger every single year. It's fabulous. And then college club hockey. I mean, what a great thing. We got 400 and something different college club programs out there. And some of them are really competitive, really well done. I mean, look at ASU. They were a club program, went Division I, and some of those players still on the team playing Division I college hockey. So it wasn't like they had a bunch of scrubs playing, club hockey. The club game is pretty darn good. So there's lots of opportunities for our kids to continue to play the sport that they love, as they grow and develop. So for me, that's my email address. Scott, you've jumped in and...
Yeah, you were on a pretty good roll.
Yeah, well, sorry.
Okay, I'm going to take this from him. He won't stop. So
No.
he was on a pretty good roll there, but I just want, as a manager who does other parts of the country, number one, thanks for having me in Southern California. That picture really means a lot to get out of some of the areas that we come from. Now, Ken, December is not a bad time to come back here either, so hopefully that invite stands. But I want to just again reiterate a little bit of our responsibilities as development managers. And that's what we do. Our responsibility is development to come up with the best practices for your children to develop in our sport, develop as athletes, develop as players, and develop a passion for, in our minds, no question, the best game out there. And we do that by, again, letting players play as many sports as possible to develop athletically. And they will develop a passion for our game because of the things that you see within this organization, with the model clubs. What's important at these ages to develop that passion is to allow them to do the things that kids want to do. They want to be athletic, they want to jump around, and they want to get more ability to do the things that will allow them to be better athletically, but also do things that allow them to be a better hockey player. And those things we're talking about is again, what's happening off ice. It's agility, balance, coordination, kids running, jumping. That slide there that you showed with the Finnish players and some players in the Midwest, unfortunately, we do see that. That struck me. One of our first trips to Finland to go and see a little bit of what they do. That was the number one thing that jumped at me, of the physical literacy of 8, 9, 10-year-old little Finnish kids, what they were able to do. And at that time, I had 9, 10-year-old kids that I was responsible for back in Ohio. And I was afraid to do some of those things that they were doing. Can't do somersaults with 9, 10-year-old kids. Just afraid of the consequences. And trust me, what it means, probably the biggest thing right now, I think from our sport that we lack a little bit, is that athleticism. We have players that will get to a certain level of our sport to get pretty good at it, and then they say, you know what, now I'm going to start training for it. Well, we've lost 5, 6 years of athleticism by doing that. So you combine that with what the Wildcats have committed to on the ice in terms of what the model club requirements and what they're doing, and you can see the dedication and the passion their staff has. And so much of it is, hey, what our game is now. Okay, the fun part of our game, what the real good players do. The good players have the puck more than the not so good players. Okay? Good players make sure that someone on their team is going to get the puck when they don't have it. So there's two things that really go into that. Number one is an individual puck protection piece. Players being able to be quick enough to get to an area. Players that are able to win a puck, win a battle, and then do something positive with it. But along with that, there's players who are seeing what's going on and know, hey, I better get closer to that puck so I can be the next guy to get the puck on my team. And that's what a lot of this programming really is all about. And kids love to do that stuff. They want to be in areas. You saw that part, the NHL players in that area of the ice battling. Well, kids like to do the exact same thing. They want to be around pucks. They want to compete for pucks. And I guarantee in California, much like all over the country, there's only one puck in a hockey game. So the more we put players in an area where they're comfortable battling for pucks, winning it, and doing something positive because their teammates are getting in those areas to be helpful, that's what's going to help our players. So what we're seeing around the country are the programs that are committing to those things that are really important in our game, developing as players, developing a passion, and doing those things that are going to help them get there are the programs and the players that are benefiting the most right now. So I do know it's been a long evening, there's been a lot of information here. Are there any questions for myself, Ken, or Kevin on anything we talked about this evening, or anything else you've heard? Ken?
Well, I know we've been kind of in school. School's been in session here for a few hours, but as Ken mentioned, let's give them just a round of applause. As Ken mentioned, we're very fortunate to we pick up the phone and we call, and someone gets right back to us and helps us out with our questions. So if you do have questions and things that pop up personally, individually for your child, just reach out to myself, Paul, Tomas, Bryce, Marcus, Emery, Aaron. We'll get the answer for you, and we'll have the support from the staff. So once again, thank you so much for being here, for making the effort to be a part of your kids' hockey experience, and for doing that with us. And we look forward to a great season. Thank you so much.